What's up, fellow go-givers? Juwan you for Broadcasting Detroit Metro. And before I jump into today's topic, I want to take a moment to add a little bit of context in terms of what's going to be transpiring with the Catch J's Buford YouTube platform moving forward. And the bottom line is it's going to evolve. It's still going to be rooted in business. It's still going to be disciplined for the most part. It's still going to be built for people who are actually building businesses. People who are leveling up, right? It's always going to be about celebrating the gurus as opposed to just letting the gurus take up all the oxygen, right? But it's also becoming a space where I'm going to be a little bit more ambidextrous, right? I'm going to share a broader range of my thinking, ideals, flexions, things that kind of sit at the intersection of business, socioeconomics, leadership, global opportunities, and long-term wealth building, right? And while some of these conversations won't always fit neatly into a business development how-to sales framework, it's going to be intentional, right? Now, if you're looking for strictly focused business development and sales management content, right? The nuts and bolts, deep dives about proven frameworks, interviews, long form podcast conversations, like what would normally be typically broadcasted here. Look, make sure you're subscribed to the Grow Givers Project on Substack, right? And then, of course, we also have a YouTube channel that will also be shared in the notes. But this channel does remain fully committed and dedicated to helping business owners level up and grow, helping them go further, go farther, go faster, go harder. And the bottom line is, while the content is going to shift a little bit, because my interests don't fit neatly into a box like that. Once again, if you're looking for that, if that's the flavor that you savor, go to the Grow Givers Project. It's going to remain fully dedicated to business development, sales management, architecture, the interviews, the podcast, the type of content that many of you may be already accustomed to here on this channel. So think of it this way. The Grow Givers Project is where we build the machinery, right? Whereas Catch J.S. Buford, this channel, is where I explore the ideals, patterns, opportunities that inform why machinery matters in the first place. So with that being said, let me go ahead and jump right into the conversation, spark today's reflection. And what I want to talk about today is a conversation I had recently with another entrepreneur about establishing real businesses, networks, and long-term relationships on the African continent. And it confirms something I already believed in for a while, and that Africa isn't just a future opportunity, it's a present one. And if you're looking in that direction, you're looking in the right place. Let's just start with the demographics, right? Africa is home to 1.4 billion people today, plus 1.4. And by 2050, it's projected to reach nearly 2.5 billion, like over 60% of the population is going to be under the age of 25. It is literally going to be the fastest growing demographic in the world, right? Or it's going to be home to the fastest growing demographic in the world. And it's not just about population growth. That's workforce growth. That's consumption growth, right? That's housing, transportation, infrastructure, demand, like literally baked into its future. And economically, Africa already represents over 3 trillion in combined GDP, with multiple countries growing faster than most developed countries, if you want to call it that, right? Urbanization is accelerating, cities are expanding, trade corridors are forming. Africa is not the stereotypical nonsense that you're accustomed to seeing on the television set or in the news. These countries over here are crushing it, and they're growing and they're catching up to the rest of the world. And more importantly, it's home to all the elements, all the materials that are needed to power the rest of the world. And then here's the part that I think people really miss about it, which is why this conversation was kind of egging me and I wanted to get it out, right? The biggest opportunities in Africa aren't just simply where the cameras are, right? And look, I'm not knocking entertainment. I'm not knocking sports or celebrity-driven ventures, not knocking any of that, right? I'm not knocking things that are, culturally entertaining. Those things matter. But real durable wealth, as far as I'm concerned, is being built in the boring industries. And if you're taking aim at actually establishing yourself where it's a mutually beneficial relationship for those who want to invest on the continent, those who want to build relationships with people from the continent, and build relationships with those who are here in the United States, right? Um, Look, I'm just going to be transparent with you. The same industries that have historically built wealth in any developing country is going to be the same across the board. And I think a lot of people miss out on that because you're looking for the sexy, looking for the short term gain type play. And the reality matters, you want to really build wealth on that continent, man, look, plumbing and water systems, electrical infrastructure, carpentry, housing, transportation, logistics, right? Cement, aggregates and building materials, understanding how to design, how to architect, but literally build bridges, roads, and ports, water filtration and sanitation systems. Look, these type of businesses are not sexy, but here's the thing: they're not non. I mean, it's not like they're non-optional, right? These are things that have to be put in place. These are things that money is going to be spent on. And every growing economy needs these foundations before it can scale anything. So, there's a universal business law that's out there that most people learn too late. Opportunity flows where necessity is high and competition is low. And so that's why I decided to come on here on YouTube and probably some other platforms too, and talk about this. And this is a conversation I'm going to be having more frequently, going to be doing deeper dives. I think this is important, right? When we talk about building wealth, you can't ignore this conversation any longer. Africa doesn't need more hype, right? It needs builders, it needs operators, it needs systemic thinkers, right? People who are going there to form real substantive relationships, respect local context, and solve unglamorous problems at scale. Those are going to be the winners over in that country. I said over in that country, my goodness. Over on that continent, right? If you're an entrepreneur thinking about the next decade, not the next trend, go boring, go foundational, go where the competition isn't. That's where the growth and development and profitability will be, and that's where it will quietly compound. So as usual, I celebrate success in advance. Goodbye for now.